going on, everybody? Welcome to Dipped in Tone. I'm Rhett.
I'm Zach.
I'm Addison.
There you go.
Hey.
So there it is.
What's that? I heard you say you like my shirt.
I love your shirt.
Well, that's amazing. You can buy this shirt now, and Zach's shirt. And they do come in more colors than gray, but because we're men who are afraid to express ourselves through our clothing, we just stick with gray and black.
Mine is actually mint. It's hard to tell because of my color grading.
Yeah, well, on screen they all look gray. No, Dipped in Tone merch now available everywhere. We got the patent applied for tee right here. We got the Dead Mint tee. Addison's not wearing.
You can buy this
merch.
from PacSun. It's 100% cotton.
Does PacSun still exist?
They do. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
We'll just deduct that from your pay this week.
That's fair.
That's
Okay.
right.
Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. So, anyways, support the show. Dipped in Tone. I'm trying to get the mic so it doesn't cover up the logo, but there you go. Dipped in Tone merch. Find it linked below. Starting off strong with an ad here. What's new with you guys?
Apparently my dog is defecating everywhere as we speak. So I'm trying to like keep my eye on my phone. So if you see me like looking down, if you're watching the show, forgive me. I'm just gonna try to comfort my panicked wife.
He's a big dog too.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy, 80 pounds. So it's like a bear.
What do you do when your dog has diarrhea? Do you just put him outside and then hose him off tonight when he's done? Or, okay.
I mean, that's one thing. One time, so I think we told this story years ago because I on our YouTube channel, apparently the channel is like a little over 5 years old now.
Oh, wow.
We just passed 25,000 subs. So thank you all to everyone who's subscribed. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. But anyway, a few years ago, we were rebuilding our fence. And the contractor we used was a nightmare. And then in the midst of all that, Morgan was out of town. And so it was just me and the dog. And he started having, I guess because people in the backyard and the yard being different, he like freaked out. And this is before we realized that our dog can't eat animal protein. He's allergic. So if you give him any animal protein, it's just bad news. So I came home one day and he had made the biggest mess in his crate. And it's a big crate. And I was like, what in the world am I going to do? And so we have a little upstairs bathroom. Luckily, it didn't get on the floor, but I pushed it like the beginning of Jurassic Park when they're pushing the Velociraptor crate up to the thing. And it like kicks the thing and knocks him back. And the guy's like, shoot her. Like that scene, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I pushed it up to the bathroom, opened the cage and like crawled over the top of it to get him in the tub. Cause thank goodness it's tile in there. So
Poor thing.
That happened twice. And so I'm sure Morgan is just like freaking out that she's going to have to do that. Anyway, not a fun way to start the show, but people in the last episode said they want more Proton Pack updates.
I want Proton Pack updates.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. So, here she is.
God.
Dude.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the pack. I've got it pretty much all done. And let's see if I can switch it on. So power switch down here.
Please work. Oh. What? Bro. Dude, that's so rad.
And then we can.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Man.
Charging port just like on the movie pack.
Bro.
It's the thing. There's still a little bit left to do, but there it is.
I mean, from my perspective, I don't know what's left to do. It looks pretty damn complete to me, but I'm not as up to speed on Proton Pack lore as you are. I was just saying, from my perspective, it looks like it's pretty close to being good to go. I don't know exactly what it's. I can't tell just by looking at it that anything's missing. So
right. So like the last few things I'm going to do for those that are super nerdy like me is like, there's so many websites, any fandom, like I mean anything now. Like you can find a community that is like nerdier than you've ever thought you were.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like little things. Like I want it to look like it was made for me and like left on set and I stole it. So like I'm going to weather it a lot more. I'm going to add on all the movie packs, all the actors, their packs were numbered. So there's like a black Sharpie mark with like a number, like 1 through 4. And also on the frame, like when you wear it, there's masking tape with the actor's name. So I'm going to like put like Z period Broyles on masking tape with a Sharpie and do all that and then weather that. And then I have to do like a weathering pass with like paint and washes. But it's really good. And it's a lot lighter than my other one. So it's going to be more enjoyable to wear. But yeah, I got it all and I put it all on. I flipped it on and the guys were like laughing at me because I was cackling like a mad scientist. And they're like, man, I wish you laughed like that whenever you got done with a pedal.
No, pedals are not nearly as fun as proton packs.
Yeah. Well, sometimes like things make me laugh like that. But that's how, if you ever are around me and you hear me go like, that means I'm like really excited because that's like the most excited laugh I've got. So anyway.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. I can't wait to see it in person.
You can put it on.
Oh, yeah. I never wore the first one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, you're definitely wearing this one.
Sick.
How many people can say that they've gotten to wear a properly built proton pack? I mean, very few people.
Yeah, I mean, like in the grand scheme of things,
Yes.
more than you'd think.
Okay,
but,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a big community. It's 40 years.
Got
of
it. Okay. That
this
makes
sort
sense.
of nerdy thing. But
That's so
anyway, Rhett,
exciting.
Addison, how are you guys?
Oh man. How are things? Good. I'm trying to think of what did I give what's my nerdy hobby update this week? Maybe more ham radio stuff. Got my home base station set up. It's been working pretty well. I'm experimenting with digital modes right now. Talked to a man in Tokyo the other night from my little handheld radio in the house, which is pretty cool. It's not true like HF long distance radio where I'm skipping it off the atmosphere and everything. It's digital, but still it's fun. So that's been good. Training for my next bike race. It's not really a race, but in October we're going to go do a 100-mile ride in Patagonia, Arizona, like down to the US-Mexico border and then across and back up. So that's going to be fun. And that's about it. Addison, what's new with you?
Ooh, hobby updates. Okay, so I cracked a code on sourdough bread this week. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture of the best loaf I've ever made in my life.
I did see that.
It's a pretty good looking loaf of bread. So I'm super excited about that. And then 3 minutes ago, right when we started the podcast, Dave at Scale Model Guitars just texted me. He said, "Your telly is done being refretted," and I'm so excited. I had it plecked about a year ago, and it just hasn't been the same ever since. So I took it to. Because of Zach, I took it to Dave. He was super helpful. He spent like 30, 45 minutes. He's here in town in Nashville. And we talked through it, chose the frets. He's like, I'll radius it. We'll get proper 10-inch radius. Anyways, way quicker than I thought he'd have it done too. This was like 2 weeks ago.
Dave's the master. Dave at Scale Model Guitars down in Donaldson, right outside, like proper Nashville. He's the best. Used to work with him at Carter Drink and he used to work at Groons, but he's just one of those guys. Like he's seen it, he's done it, and he can do it like while he's just talking to you, like it's nothing, and it's perfect. He's the man. He's
It's a real shame he only works on like 1/24th scale and 1/18th scale guitars, Addison, how long did it take you to get past the starter phase on your sourdough? Tilly and I have tried. I tried one time in 2020 and immediately gave up because it pissed me off. And Tilly's been trying, but like even just keeping the starter alive is too much for us.
Great question. So I did try to have my own starter. I tried to start my own a couple years ago when I started this journey, and it was really challenging. So we were traveling to go visit my parents for Christmas, and I was like, I just want to bake bread because I was taking all my stuff that I had gotten for Christmas that year to bake bread. So I went to one of the local bakeries and I said, hey, could I buy some starter from you guys? And they just gave it to me in a little container. And so ever since then I've had that and I've kept it alive because it's pretty easy once it's established to keep alive. But yeah, starting your own starter is really tough. So I technically haven't done that yet. But
we've been given starter and haven't been able to keep that alive.
Okay.
So
yeah,
baking's probably not my thing.
Yeah. Well, I think what I learned, what I have learned over the last couple of years is that a common misconception is you feed it like a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. So I don't know if you remember the ratios you guys were feeding your starter, but I have found, you're like, no. So I have found that feeding at a really high ratio, like a 1 to 5 to 5. So 1 part starter, 5 parts water, 5 parts flour is actually like creates a much stronger starter over time. Keeps it alive a lot easier.
I love cooking, and I'm pretty good at cooking.
Yeah.
I don't bake. I can't bake. Baking is science and chemistry, and you have to follow directions and instructions. I don't want to do that. I don't want someone to tell me what I have to do. So I like to cook, and I can watch a recipe online and kind of get the general idea of what needs to happen and then make it. But if I need to like be measuring stuff, and it's not for me.
See, I think sourdough is not, you get to the point where you're very like in tune to what's going on with it. You might enjoy it.
There's so many steps though. It's like it's just so.
It's a tinkering. It can be a very like, you're like, you strike me as a guy that tinkers with stuff. You know?
I do be tinkering.
You do be tinkering. So I think you'd enjoy it. It might be worth a try.
Man, speaking of doobies, John in the comment section says, I'm more of a getting baked guy versus a baking guy.
Hey, John, hell yeah. Hey, 420, right? Hell yeah, man.
If you want to join in on that sort of conversation and talk, join our Patreon.
That's right.
And support the show. We appreciate everybody watching. And for the 1 tier, you get access to this sort of shenanigan, and you get a bonus episode after this episode
maybe in
gets
today's
recorded.
bonus episode, we can try and unpack why weed makes me scared and gives me panic attacks constantly.
Oh, yeah.
I will have nothing to contribute to that conversation.
I'm high right now. No.
man, I'm stoned right now, dude. Yeah, join the Patreon. It's always a good time over there. Okay. Do we have a hot take today?
We have a hot take, but before we read that hot take, we got to thank our sponsor for today's episode, Sweetwater.
Yes.
Yes. They didn't even have to pay us extra to say that in sync, Addison. So,
good.
Yeah, Sweetwater.com. Thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring today's video. Links in the description to a lot of the gear that we're talking about and we're using to make today's video, including things like our cameras and microphones, because they've been sort of moving into more of the sort of content creation space, which I'm very excited about over the last few years. And then my shill for today, I'm very excited about. We'll have linked down below from Sweetwater. I did not buy it from Sweetwater. I got it from some other retailer, but you can buy it on Sweetwater and support the show. The affiliate links will earn us a small commission no matter what you buy over there. So go look at the shill from today and then buy a pack of strings and we earn a small commission. So
Yeah, and there are lots of sales going on all the time on Sweetwater. So if you're like me and when you can't fall asleep at night, you just look at all the stuff on sale and then you get really tempted. I'm tempted by the new, I didn't realize that Ernie Ball Music Man have a Sterling Kaizen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it just came out, and Sweetwater has one, and they must have used one in a demo because there's one like an open box one for like really cheap, and I want it really bad. So check out all those deals too on Sweetwater.com.
Yeah, don't sleep on those open box deals for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Love it. All right. Hot take. You guys ready? I thought this was a really good conversation. This is from Austin. He says, hot take. People focus too much on lead guitar and soloing instead of rhythm guitar. Lead guitar is an important skill to have, but rhythm guitar is far more important. Some of the best guitarists you think of when thinking of lead guitar have amazing rhythm chops. Examples, John Mayer, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Slash, Brad Paisley, Mark Knopfler, etc.
100% agree. Every great guitar player you've ever heard, even players that play in your local bar scene or for wedding bands or in your church, if they're a good guitar player, they've got great rhythm chops. Those two things are one and the same. And 100% people gravitate towards guitar because it's a fun instrument. It's an impressive instrument. It's, there's a lot of sort of, I guess, it's very romanticized in a way because of that, image of the guitar player ripping a solo, and we all want to do that stuff. But if you get to the point where you're playing music with other people, 95% of the time you're playing rhythm guitar. And when you are soloing, you are playing in rhythm. Having good time feel is more important than the notes that you play, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah, I think rhythm guitar is the hardest thing it's not the hardest thing, but it's a hard thing for me to keep my focus on because of my dumb hand. I've always tended to do more single note stuff because I can only do like small chord shapes and like certain chords like are just almost impossible for me to play. Like I just physically can't move my hand that way. But every time I listen to like Jimi Hendrix or something, I'm usually more impressed, and it's more difficult to nail those rhythm like parts of the songs than the solo stuff. Because man, it's so much about timing as much as it is about like having the dexterity to get the chords and the reach and the stuff. But yeah, rhythm playing and then learning how to sing while you play rhythm, especially complicated rhythms.
Yeah.
That's something that I think if you can do that and then you can sing with it, then your usefulness as a guitar player in any sort of situation just goes way up.
100%. Yeah, I never did. I've only started singing in the past probably 6 or 7 years background, and I'm not a very good background singer because I really struggle with singing and playing at the same time. It's so hard for me. So hard.
I particularly struggle with that playing bass. I can sing and play guitar, but playing bass and singing is for some reason pretty difficult for me. What's crazy though is that I can drum and sing. So there's some like connection or disconnection somewhere, and so that is a real challenge.
Yeah. It was, I remember it kind of clicked for me when I was in my early 20s, when I was like really trying to learn how to do both those things. Like, cause I mean, when I was 16, everyone was like, you play guitar, you be the singer in the band. I was like, oh, you know, but I grew to really love it. But back then I was only playing, you know, power chords and stuff. But learning how to play rhythms, especially rhythms that don't match the rhythm of the melody, that is like, you kind of have to like trust your hands to fly on autopilot. And like for me, and then I focus just on the lyrics and the singing. And it can be tricky for sure, especially if you get out of sync and you're like, you can't get back in.
My brain does one or the other. If I'm trying to sing a line, I will inadvertently, like my hands will just stop playing while I sing the line. And then I go back to playing. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not in me. So 100% though,
yes,
get your rhythm chops together. And some people in the Patreon chat are saying like, it's just as much or more fun playing rhythm guitar. I completely agree, especially when you're in a band and you are lucky enough to be able to play with a great bass player and a great drummer, and you can lock in. The guitar is part of the rhythm section. I always thought, you know, in my earlier years that the rhythm section is the bass and drums. No, the guitar is part of that as well. And it's your job to lock into it. Guitar is a percussion instrument. You have to strike it to play it. So some of my favorite players, Ella Feingold, great example. Ella doesn't solo. She doesn't play like traditional lead guitar, but one of my favorite players of all time because she has the rhythm and the chops and the time feel and the touch and the tone so dialed for all that stuff. It's, I love it.
Yes.
Cool. Good hot take this week. If you want to submit your hot take to be read out on the show, email us, dippedintone@gmail.com. Now.
Do one of these.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to do that because it's going to do something on my computer, probably like shut down the streaming software or whatever. But cool. Okay. We got to talk about it. It's going on right now. Pretty current event happening. I made a video about it. Some other things have developed since my video came out and a few other people's videos came out. The Boss plug out. Real swing and a miss from Roland Boss here, I think.
Man, I remember like I woke up and like you like start your day and you're just like, I checked the news, like the gear news, and I saw it and I thought, that's somebody's making an AI Boss pedal. And scrolled and I was like, wait a minute, and went back. It is such a strange idea that I don't know. So we did a live stream about it and kind of dove into it and had some of the community bouncing ideas off of it. But I'm curious because we've only spoke a little bit about the feature sets and some of the other things that the plug out has, the PX1. But yeah, so
Okay, we'll get into it. If you're not super familiar with it or you
Yes.
haven't been following it, we'll get into it in just a second. But the way I sort of came into this was that Boss reached out to me through my manager. So I have a guy that I work with named Steve. He works with me and Tim and Corey Congilio and a couple other the guitar YouTubers that you may follow. And Steve's great. He like runs our email lists and our course websites and stuff. And one of the things that he helps me out with is when, you know, a brand or company approaches and wants to do like some kind of sponsorship deal on my channel, Steve will kind of help arrange and negotiate all that stuff. Because it's better for everyone if a professional handles it and not me. So anyways, they reached out and Steve had a meeting with the guys at Boss who I've worked with before. It's been great to work with. I've done a few sponsored things with Boss in the past. And that's how I first learned about it, which was, oh, Boss is doing a standalone multi-effect pedal that'll have 16 effects, all Boss, and you'll be able to, you know, have access to things like the slow gear, some rare and vintage stuff. It'll be, you know, $250, and it's kind of going after like the Line 6 HX1 and the Zoom multi-effect stuff. And when I heard that, I was like, cool, great. Like, yeah, let's do it. That'll be an easy sponsorship. I like that kind of stuff. I can find an angle to talk about on my channel that'll work. And so that was kind of it. And then it dropped, and you were the one that told me, dude, this thing like sucks. Have you seen it? And I argued with you. I was like, no, man, I think it's cool. Like it's a thing. And that's when the whole idea of the licensing and the app and all that service stuff came up, and my opinion has completely shifted.
Yeah. So for those that are unaware, they eventually are going to release more Boss units that will be accessible via an app that you connect the pedal with or pedal to. And all of those are going to be available for purchase. With the purchase of the pedal, you get the 16 and that's it. And so supposedly what Matthew found out before we did the live stream was that each one of those new units are $10 per pedal to load on to the PX1, which can only hold, I think, like 16 in it. So you can't have all of them saved onto the unit at any given moment. You have to switch out with the app. But I think one of the more egregious things is that the MIDI is just for like a tap in, basically. Mm-hmm. And you can't control patches or switch out effects and stuff with that. You can't control the unit as a whole with the MIDI, which that's bad.
That is, but that can be a software update.
You hope, right? Because there's only MIDI in, so there's no pass through.
Well, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Here, to me though, the devil's in the details, because all that stuff even doesn't really bother me, right? Like, yeah, okay, it's Boss only effects. That's cool. It's got 16 slots. All right, cool. Like even with my HX1, I only really use 7 or 8 different sounds in it. You know, I have access to all the stuff, but I don't really ever use that stuff. The part that set me off, and so much so that I made a video that potentially burned the bridge with Boss ever wanting to work with me again. Which, by the way, that's been a common complaint or criticism of people in our world and the sort of content creator world is like, oh, well, they'll never say anything bad about a company because they don't want to cut off that tap to free gear. Like, right. I don't care. I don't care about that. Like, I'm going to share my honest and open opinion, even if it means that Boss will never, want to work with me ever again. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. So the devil's in the details here. And I had to kind of look into this a little bit with Steve, and the more we looked into it, the worse it got, in my opinion. So when you buy the pedal as it stands now, and I haven't bought the pedal, but it comes loaded with 8 effects, right, ready to go right out of the box. But there's 16 slots available, and you have the ability to load in 8 other effects from the jump. However, they intentionally left those other 8 slots open. Now you could say, well, that's because you want to be able to pick and choose what effects go in there. Okay, fine. In my opinion, what I think they're doing here is by leaving those other 8 slots open, they're forcing you to have to download the Boss app the effect loader app, which entails signing up for an account on Roland Cloud and entering your email and doing all that stuff, syncing the pedal, Bluetooth, everything, to go ahead and install the remaining 8 effects. Now, they didn't have to do that, right? They could have just sent the pedal with all 16 effects installed and said, oh yeah, and in January of 2026, we're going to start offering new algorithms, new effects that you can purchase and download and swap out. But they didn't. They left the 8 open, in my opinion, so that you have to download the app. You have to sign up for Roland Cloud. You have to get into their system. So that's one problem. The second problem is, as it stands currently, when it comes time for you to purchase one of those pedals, whatever one you want, it's $10, but you're getting a license to use the effect.
Right.
Now, this is not unique. This happens all over the place. If you have any kind of, you ever purchased plugins for your DAW or some hardware in the synth world or whatever, you know that you're purchasing a license and that license gets assigned to your iLock account and all this kind of stuff. The problem here is that you don't really own, in my opinion, you don't really own this pedal. You buy the hardware, you spend the $250 for the hardware. They make you join up into their system in order to utilize the full capabilities of the hardware. And whatever their privacy policy says and all that kind of stuff, you are signing up to be able to have access to the thing that you bought. And then let's say, over time, you buy some pedals, you install them, you do whatever. Let's say, Zach, that I'm done with the plug out and I put it up on Reverb, right? And you buy the pedal on Reverb used. Well, if I'm understanding this correctly, you wouldn't be able to use the extra effects or the effects that I purchased and pre-installed into the pedal, because what's probably going to happen is that when you get it, in order to use it or to modify it or swap stuff out, you're going to have to sign up for the Roland Cloud. Right. You're going to have to sync the pedal to that. And Boss or Roland will say, oh, so you haven't paid for these licenses for these pedals, so we're going to have to take these away, or you can pay for the licenses for the pedals, which means now Roland has sold the same thing twice to 2 different people. And that's really what this is about. And I've experienced this with Native Instruments. I used to have the Machina like synth programming piece, and Machine is a software, and this was a hardware controller. Didn't get on with it. I went to sell it. And when I sold it, I had to go through that whole process. I had to go into my Native Instruments account, create a transfer code, email the guy that bought the controller from me so that he could get that code and enter it into his own account so they could transfer the license. He couldn't even turn the unit on. Native Instruments wouldn't even let it like fully boot up until he entered this license code into his account and went through their whole system. And essentially Roland is doing the same thing here.
Oh God. Yeah, it's gross.
I hear you guys, but Eventide's been doing this for years.
I know.
The H9 is the same way. And honestly, what you're describing, a lot of companies in the audio world are doing this.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like this is a plug. This comes from the plugin world, right? Hence the name Plug Out.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
what they're doing. So I'm not saying that Boss is like breaking new ground here.
Sure.
My point is that this sucks, and I don't want more gear that causes me to have to create an account and to buy a license and to do all this stuff. They should have just made another cool Wazacraft analog pedal.
Or make it like the, I don't have, well, it's way over there, like the Space Echo or any of the larger, like the DM101.
Yeah.
And done more of a, because, okay, first off, Boss is not new to the modeling game or the multi-effect game. They have been doing it before most of these other companies were even a thought. But the way they executed this, it just seems so greedy and selfish, where, you compare it, because people in the comment section are saying, Eventide did this, and then they course corrected because the H90 doesn't do it. But even still, like Eventide, how many effects are there available to you? The Plug Out has 16, and even, there's a lot of Boss effects, but there's not, an infinite number, and there's probably not going to be like new weird stuff that you can use just on the fly. And even still, if there is, you're limited to 3 knobs, so it's going to be menu divey and kind of a pain in the neck. I think it was like a cute idea that got spun out of control and was built in a boardroom and not by guitar players really accessing what would make sense in the community.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see that they're getting pushback on this, because I think it's a good indicator for other companies in the guitar space, the guitar hardware space, to go, I don't know if that's going to, because look at Line 6, right? The precedent with Line 6 has been you buy a Helix and you're buying into that ecosystem, or Kemper, it's the same way.
Yeah.
And you're buying into that ecosystem, and part of what you're buying into is continued support and updates from Line 6 that up until this point has been at no additional cost, right? Every year or so, they do a major OS update that includes new models and new effects, and it's a better system. And like, that's part of what you're getting. Now, the same thing can kind of be said for Neural DSP with Quad Cortex, with the exception being, like if you want to port their plugin amps over to the Quad Cortex, which I've done. I purchased the Soldano SLO plugin, and that's, again, same thing. It's licensing. I bought the license to use the plugin, but that's a digital plugin. That's a computer program that I'm porting over to hardware. And I think it was Summer here in the Patreon chat basically said, digital licensing doesn't belong in the hardware game. And I think that's exactly right. That's the problem here to me. It's like, it's fine if it's in a computer, right? Companies need to be able to, protect their IP. I completely understand that stuff. And that's where this comes from, all this need for licensing and whatever. But when you apply it to hardware, the implication changes a little bit, because now what happens inevitably in a few years, when I don't think this pedal is going to sell very well, I think Boss will probably end up dropping this from their lineup, which means at some point they will probably end up stopping support and future updates and app support for this unit that you've paid for and you've paid extra money for. But what happens when you can't access the app anymore, or there's some kind of software bug and they're not going to issue an update for it? Well, now I've got a useless piece of hardware, and yes, the same can be said for other things like the Helix and the Kemper, but like, it feels wrong to me to bring this into the hardware space.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, the thought of having things in the cloud, I don't like. I've never enjoyed any time I had to connect a phone to something to control it or adjust anything about it. I even with the Line 6 stuff, it takes so much effort for me just to plug it into a computer and update it. Because it's like, it's working. I don't really want to mess with that. But I think that this is definitely going to bring to the forefront that the guitar community does not want this. And hopefully Boss will course correct and then just let this die. But like you said, like what happens when the iOS like gets updated beyond what this app can do, and then it doesn't load on a phone anymore, and you're stuck.
Yeah. Again, which the same thing can be said for other pieces of gear. I want to be fair that this is not strictly a Boss Roland thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not optimistic that they're going to just let this go, because they've already, after my video went out, I had a bunch of people from the synth world sort of reach out or comment on the video saying like, oh, they've already done this with their plug out synths Roland has, and it sucks. And so that proves to me that this is an established direction that they're going to try and start moving towards, because from their perspective, it's going to, at least in their mind, increase revenue, because now not only can they sell you the pedal the one time, but now they can turn that one-time purchase into potentially dozens of future purchases. Yeah. Oh, and then when they sell it to the next person, we can then turn that into another couple dozen purchases when they want to add the next stuff and they want to add the next thing. And it's this microtransaction sort of loop that benefits the company, not even the company as a whole, benefits the people at the very top of the company. And it's bad for us. It's bad for the consumer. It just sucks, man. I don't like it.
When I was talking to Matthew about it, we kind of thought of it as like there's this idea in the video game world of games as a service, where the game is, sometimes it's X amount of dollars are free, and then you pay for all the other stuff to access it. And then some games, like you pay full whack for the game, and then there's stuff that's in there you have to pay to unlock, which is, pretty egregious. But this is even different because for those, a lot of those, you can play anything for free, and then you pay to get all access to all the stuff, which, a game, it takes a lot to run a video game company and maintain servers and stuff. But this is like even more different than that because it's pedals as a service. Like you make the pedal once, and I mean, there might be updates and things for this, but all they have to do is like dig into their history. Because the thing that is interesting when you talk about Neural or you talk about any of these other companies, like Boss is creating things that they already own. What was that?
I don't know.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, y'all heard that too, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Was that my phone? What was that? Anyway, like, with like a Neural, like they are selling like an Imperial, a Tone King plugin or the Mesa Boogie plugin, right? And like they have to then also pay Mesa Boogie, they have to pay Tone King and all these people license fees for all those ones that they're selling. So it's like it's more than just like Neural is making like a Mark II style plugin pack that they're selling and making money off. They're selling like the license name and all that stuff. So it's like that. It feels a little bit more forgivable than Boss saying, hey, look at all this great stuff we have. I mean, do you guys think if it was $10 after you bought the pedal, when all that other stuff came out, it was $10 flat, and then you had access to every pedal that came after this, is that okay?
It's not about being okay or not okay. It's just a matter of like, I'm trying to be fair here because like I am okay with it when it's Neural DSP in the Quad Cortex, right? Kind of. But I feel like there's just more value there in some way. And regardless of whether or not I decide to port my amp plugins over to the Quad Cortex works great as a standalone unit that doesn't require microtransactions and subscriptions and all this kind of stuff. Like you can use that unit perfectly well without ever syncing the phone or your computer or whatever with it, other than like updates and stuff. And the problem with this is it's so clearly a ploy to get you into the Roland Cloud system so that they can monetize you further in the future. That's the difference here, right? It's the fact that they only sell you the pedal, they ship it half loaded, and they advertise it. All their advertising has been that, 16 effects. Oh, but it's only 8 effects, and you have to have a smartphone, and which not everyone has. Or I imagine there's a way to probably do it on the desktop app. I'm not sure, but regardless, like they're advertising it one way, they're saying one thing, but then when you actually get it, the real life experience is different. And it's
can we talk about the aesthetic of it?
It looks horrible.
It's so bad.
It looks bad.
It
does look bad.
Like I said, it looks AI, but also there's just a like one of the things I love. I should have grabbed some of my Boss pedals because I have a handful of vintage ones. They just have such personality and charm, and like there's a beauty in the simplicity of, especially all Japanese design stuff. You guys know I love Ibanez, Maxon, but Boss and Roland, I mean, they set the precedent for what a compact pedal is, and there's just something so empty and lifeless about how this thing looks to me, which is why I thought it was AI generated. I don't like the placement of the screen. Having it on your foot switch is an odd. I don't think you should ever have a screen that your foot will cover or touch when you're trying to activate it. Maybe that's just me. But then the fact that the knobs, there's no labels, there's nothing under there. It seems really just like someone, they started it and then it got moved down the line and they're like, oh no, I didn't finish that. And I'm like, too late. It's already getting made.
Yeah. The whole thing reads to me as the boardroom decided we need a product that gets people into this. We need to get into the subscription game, into the microtransaction game. And then they designed a product to fit in that box. Oh, well, what if we did this? We did this multi-effect thing and it kind of does, and we'll just throw some algorithms in there. And then, that's knowing what we all know about the business and how these companies operate, especially the bigger companies like this. I am willing to guess that that's where this came from. Hey, we need to increase revenue. How do we get into the subscription microtransaction game? And I want to be clear, like subscription, because that word keeps getting thrown around. I keep saying it. We keep saying it. There's been nothing said about it being like, oh, you have to pay a monthly subscription to use the pedal.
Yeah.
So just to be clear there, like it's microtransactions in order to get access to a license to use the thing that you bought.
Yeah.
Not I'm purchasing this and then I'm getting a digital file that then I own and that I can put on to the unit. I'm getting a license. I'm getting permission to use the thing that you sold me. And again, this does happen in the plug-in world. This does happen in other parts of the digital audio musician space. But when you try and port it over to hardware, like Native Instruments has done, I have Native Instruments hardware. I have a Native Instruments, MIDI keyboard here, and it's just a pain in the ass, man. It's like the reason I sold that Machina controller was like, it's just the software always needs updating, and like sometimes you can't use it until you update it, and like I hate it, man. If I've bought a piece of hardware, if I bought a pedal, I want to be able to use that pedal regardless of or without the need to pair it with a phone or a computer or an app or update my licensing. Because the other part of this too is that, and we won't know, what I'm trying to do right now is I want to get my hands on the actual licensing agreement, like the terms of service that you have to click yes to. And we're going to look at it. I want to drop it in ChatGPT and say, hey, you're a lawyer. I want you to look at this, because what I'm curious to see is if there's any language in there that leaves the door open for Roland to change the terms in the future. Yeah. They can increase the price, or they could potentially change it to a subscription service, or have the wording such that, oh, yes, you're paying $10 for this now, but we reserve the right to change the terms of this agreement and lock you out of your license or take your license or whatever. Like, I don't know. I want to see what that stuff says, because I think that'll be really telling as to where they're potentially headed with this in the future.
Yeah. It seems to me, and I'd love to get your guys' input on this, that it like, let's remove the microtransactions from it just entirely. And if it had 16 or more like effects available to it, this seems too little too late in this space. Like, at least in my opinion, with the amount of things that are available to guitarists for the same price, a little bit more or quite a bit less. Like, I love Boss effects. I think that they're so important to the history of guitar, and they honestly, I need to buy a Roland Jazz Chorus. I want one. So like, this is not going to stop me from being someone who likes Boss products and Roland products. But like, do you guys think that it's just like, it just seems
half-baked?
Like, yeah, half-baked, but also just like, it's just like 5 years too late, or maybe 10 years too late, or something like that.
I don't think it's necessarily, I mean, yeah, they definitely could have done this way sooner, but
yeah,
it just feels half-baked. And this is why I go back to saying, I think this was a decision made in a boardroom. How do we get people into a subscription service, or how do we get people to sign up for the Roland Cloud? Oh, we'll just make this thing that does it. Because this could have been so good. There's so many options. I have the Space Echo RE202 on my board. I love that pedal. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's so well made. It's like, dude, yeah, do that. Like, but to your point, they completely missed the mark.
Yes, I saw this compared to the Line 6 M5, which I think is probably a good comparison, and that came out 10 years ago? 12 years ago? Was it? Okay, so late aughts, early aughts, whatever.
Oh, the M5?
Yeah, it's old.
The M5, yeah.
That's an old one.
Yeah, somebody compared it to that, and I was like, oh, that's a really interesting comparison.
2010.
What Phil in the chat 15 years ago, that's crazy. Phil in the chat from 40 Watt, he said that Boss is notorious for not supporting their digital effect, and I didn't know this, but that's a huge issue if that continues to be true with a pedal that is like, well, the whole point here, their Boss is following suit. I hear the argument where you guys are coming from. I don't know that I fully agree right now, just because they're following suit. Eventide's done this for years. Obviously, pedal companies do this. There's a lot of talk in the chat about game companies doing this, licenses for, and I don't game, but Nintendo Switches and things like that. You're just purchasing the licenses to play those games, and even when you purchase a physical copy, that's the same thing. And so to me, Boss is following suit. Is it kind of a little icky? I get where it's coming from, but I'm like, man, the rest of the world kind of already operates like this anyways. I think what is really interesting or concerning to us is that we love Boss, and we're like, oh, why would Boss do something like this? That's where I go, oh man, that actually is a bummer, because they've never done anything like this. But go ahead, right? What were you going to say?
Yes, you're right. I think more and more of our daily life is switching to this "you will own nothing and like it" model.
Right.
And my point in all this is that sucks
totally,
and it shouldn't be that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's time to start buying CDs again. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And I don't mean necessarily CDs specifically, but buying physical media, Blu-rays, going to Bandcamp and supporting your favorite artists by actually paying them money to get downloadable files for their music and putting them on some kind of MP3 player. I wish I could. I want to get an iPod again. Like, I want an iPod. I want to go back to the time when we all grew up, where I would go on iTunes and I would spend the $9.99 and I owned the music, owned it, within certain DRM rules or whatever. But streaming, Spotify sucks.
Yeah.
As a company,
yeah.
The quality of the streaming sucks. Daniel Ek is in my opinion, I don't want to. Just look into Daniel Ek and where he's been putting money and putting the money he's earned from Spotify, putting it into AI drone warfare companies, right? Putting $600 million of revenue that was generated from the distribution of art, a large portion of that art being anti-war and anti-violence. He's taking that money that's been extracted from artists, from musicians, from writers, from our industry, stolen mostly, in my opinion, and investing it into all these horrific things. Like, dude, Spotify sucks. Yeah. Apple Music is not much better. Like, these streaming models are not good. You pay a monthly subscription and you own nothing, and they can change the terms whenever they want. So this is my point. This Boss Roland plug out thing is a symptom of a much larger issue that we're experiencing on a societal level, which is that these massive tech companies have figured out that they can just continue to extract as much value from us in return for convenience. Oh, I can have 16 Boss pedals in one Boss pedal, and all I have to do is sign up for this terms of service and download this app and give them my account information and pay for a license for permission to use the thing. Like, it sucks, man. It just sucks.
No, it's funny that you say that, because like as my son is getting older, he's asking more questions about how we were as a kid, and we were kind of reminiscing about, like we'd go on Friday night, we'd go place an order for a pizza. While that was getting ready, we'd go to the movie rental store, we'd rent the thing, we'd get our pizza, we'd come home. And I've been so nostalgic for that. Because I'm right there with you for all the things that you're saying. And so like, I want to buy all the movies that have come out recently on, like, I want to get the Blu-rays and all of that. I will say that I know it sucks about the Switch 2, but man, that new Donkey Kong game is really good.
It's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone the other day, and his daughter was in the car with him, and she's 13. And we were talking about this thing about like buying physical media again. And, she's never known a world where like you would buy CDs or anything like that. And he asked her, he was like, hey, would you ever, because she loves music. her favorite band is Men I Trust, which I was like, hell yeah, dude. She's got taste. Like, that's awesome. We were talking about that, and he was like, would you ever go buy a Men I Trust CD? She was like, what? No. Why would I do that? And I went on this little rant. I was like, well, because a few things. One, so you like that band, right? When you buy their CD, especially if they are an independent artist, most of the money that ends up going from that CD sale, or much more of the money, goes to the band rather than to the streaming company. And then you have a physical thing. You have a thing that you own that can, it can't be taken away from you by some big tech company or streaming service or whatever. And then, yeah, when you go see Men I Trust live in Atlanta last week, you can take your CD and you can have them sign it. And then you have this thing. And she's like, oh, that's cool. Can we go buy a CD? She asked her dad in the car, like, can we go get one like right now? And
he's like, where do we play it?
Yeah. And that's the other part is I don't own a CD player right now.
Right.
But still, like, I think it's time to start going back to physical media.
To that point, I think that's why these conversations are really important, because there is a whole generation of people, even, we talk about this with tube amps and modelers and stuff like that, a whole generation of players that have never plugged into a tube amp. They plug into their interfaces, and it's like, man, to see the look on someone's face when they plug into that tube amp, or when they realize, oh my gosh, if I go buy the CD, then I can take it to the show. You do that? Do you used to do that? What? So it's like, that's why these conversations are, I think, really important to have and continue to talk about, and encourage the younger generation. Like, hey, we can live differently. We can make choices that send us in a different direction as a society.
And to be clear, I'm not advocating that you delete all of your subscriptions and go back to 1998. Like, yes, there's totally a value add for the convenience of something like Spotify or Apple Music. I will say ditch Spotify though, for sure. Go to another streaming platform. But like, keep your subscription, right? Stream your stuff. But if you're watching this podcast, more than likely you love music and you love art and you have an appreciation. And there right now, especially, the best way to support artists and bands and musicians is to buy their music directly from them. Go to their Bandcamp, go to their website, find their CD or a vinyl LP in your local record store. Go support your local record store. Go support a brick and mortar store that's run by an actual person who will sell you something that you can then own and you can do with whatever you please, instead of continuing to just rely on all these, I can spiral real fast on this conversation. That's the treacherous part, is I can go down. Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. With this conversation, we love Boss. They're one of my favorite companies, if not my favorite pedal company. What can they do with this product? Let's end on a positive note. Is there anything Boss can do to redeem this? Is that possible?
Give all the pedals away. Like, you still have to get the cloud thing, but just give them all away. Like, whatever they make in the future, it's all free.
I think, in my opinion, stop manufacturing them. Don't waste any more resources or energy into building these things. Sell the ones that you currently have manufactured or are currently in dealers. And, whatever your first round of pedals that you were going to drop in 2026 in January, sell them for your $10. I'm not saying this should be free. Like, sure, because there is effort and time and R&D that went into developing those products. Sure, sell them for $10, but sell it, create the DRM or the licensing such that I own a file that stays downloaded in the pedal that goes with the pedal for the rest of its life. Not a license. Give me an actual file that I can then do with, like what Line 6 or what Kemper does, or even what I think Neural DSP does to an extent. And then go back to building. Dude, they would have been way better off if they would have just done a Wazacraft version of the Slow Gear.
Oh, yeah.
They would have sold plenty of them, and they wouldn't be in this hot water with the community right now.
I bet there's so many already made. Oh my God, I bet there's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just stop building them, sell the ones you have.
God,
call it quits.
I can't. Like, there have been times where I've made stuff and it doesn't sell, and how much I panic, I can only imagine.
Yeah, because you have to remember, Boss is a big company in our industry, but compared to like Microsoft or Coca-Cola or like they're not even a blip on the same graph or whatever.
Nothing.
Yeah. So
Well,
there's yeah.
To cleanse our palate of that, let's dip a rig. And
Let's dip a rig.
boy, howdy.
Is this the one I think it's going to be? I saw this one come in to the email.
I think you're the one that told me about it.
I'm excited about this.
Boom. So this is from our friend Colton. Colton P. So long-time listener, freshly minted dipshit, he said, so we appreciate you. And he said, this is the rig he uses for church as the worship team director. I appreciate that he used an expletive in his email and then followed it by he's the worship team director. We have a Fender Ventera 2 Tele Deluxe with trem, a made in Japan Rathalos Telecaster. Oh, it's a Monster Hunter thing. I don't know. The most fantastic thing I've ever seen, a Partscaster Tele made from bleacher seats from his high school. It's maple. With a Tele neck on it. And so we'll get into that thing. Tone Master Deluxe Reverb, a Vox AC10, a Wampler TU or a Boss TU2 Wampler Wong compressor, the Morley Classic Wah, an SD1, Morning Glory, a Deco, and a UA Effects Heavenly. And this guitar, I think is what we saw and went, what in the world is that?
Okay,
Should we just break down this guitar first?
No.
Oops.
Let's put a pin in the guitar because I want to get to the rest of the rig first,
Yes.
and then we'll talk about the guitar. So let's pretend you can't see that.
This is what I can do. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Enhance. Okay, I like this so far. This is cool. That Ventera Tele with the trim, sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that. The other Tele is interesting. That pattern is what is that?
So I mean, Monster Hunter is a video game, and it's, got like a, it's sort of high fantasy sort of thing. But yeah, it kind of looks like a sweater or something. But it's, for those listening, it's kind of a pastel, peachy sort of color with red and like grayish, brownish patterning on it.
It's cool.
It looks neat. And it's got a black humbucker, torque guard, and then some wacky big inlay on the 12th fret. I like it. Matching headstock. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think the torque guard is clashing a little bit, but maybe a black guard would be cooler there. I don't know.
Flat black pick guard would be neat.
Yeah. Pedalboard's cool. I like, simple meat and potatoes, everything you need, nothing you don't.
Have you ever used a Morley wah?
I have, no, but I have a Morley, like a vintage. I need to find it. I don't even know where it is, but one of the big chrome Morley effects that they were doing. What is it? I bought it on a whim like 6 years ago. I think it's a phaser or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Has the wall cord coming out of the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
Weighs like 15 pounds.
Yeah.
So I own one of those somewhere. But I've never played the wah.
Yeah. So the Morley wah is it's optically controlled instead of having a potentiometer. So you put your foot on it, it turns on, and it's like, that's the Steve Vai, that's the Mark Tremonti, Cliff Burton of Metallica, the bassist, used one of those, and they have a really specific sort of wow sort of sound to them. It's a very different wah-wah sound.
Someone sample that, by the way, and send it to me. Thank you.
Wow.
How much wah are you guys using these days? And
I don't.
In particular in church. The last, as a church guy, the last song that I can remember that had wah on it was Mighty to Save, and that was 2006. I just Googled it. So that was a long time. Anyways, anyone using wah these days?
Oh, God.
The big thing about the Morley, which kind of stinks, is that you can't like put your foot on it, like set it and then lift it off. At least on some of them. Some of them have a switch, but like you can't like cock it, which is like, that's useful in any genre of music.
That's a cool sound. Yeah.
I have a lot of wahs in here. I love wah pedal.
Do you? That's awesome.
Yeah, I love wahs. I have, look at this. I have, here's a bag of like wah potentiometers for just modding wahs I keep in my room.
Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
I learn new things about you guys every week.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Colton's going to get bonus points from me for the deco. Still one of the most underrated pedals out there. One of Strymon's best offerings that people still sleep on, man. It's such a great piece of gear. Wong compressor, cool. Never played one. Yeah. Sure, it's good comp. Also, the Tone Master Deluxe. Did we talk about the amps? I don't think we mentioned the amps. Love a Tone Master Deluxe. Great piece of kit. And then I said an AC10?
That's a 10. The 10 is, the smaller they go, I think the worse Vox gets.
Yeah. We talked about it last week, which we got some heat in the comments for our rig dip last week. And let me just say, sorry. We're here to tell you what we think.
It's all in good fun,
Yeah. Okay. But overall, like a church guy, he's going for his edge thing. He's got the Fender. He's got the
Elise's drum kit behind him.
Dude, that drummer better be. I mean, look at the. Yeah. All right.
Wait. Okay. You know what? We have a clearer image of just this guitar.
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
Pull that up. So, this is one of the most unique guitar shapes I have ever seen. Rhett, can you describe this shape to our listeners at home?
All right. If you're listening, I need you to pull up YouTube, pull up this episode, scroll to wherever we are, and just look at this.
About an hour in.
Okay. It looks like, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, a toddler with a jigsaw cut out a piece of pine, then they somehow managed to slap a neck and the guts of a telly, and for some reason a purple purple mother of toilet seat pickguard, which looks like it was cut out by the same toddler with the same jigsaw. What are we doing here? What is this? I get the vibe of like, I want to build a guitar out of the bleachers from my, what do you say, high school?
This was his seat.
His seat.
Yeah, the number. There's like a 7 on it, and that is where he's
in the bleachers. Like they sat in the bleachers.
Well, I think let's see. He mentioned something about it. Body is made from bleacher seats from my high school. Wood is maple and over 50 years old. It was also my exact seat in the basketball pep band.
Okay.
So it was a seat in pep band, which I will say, I think there's a start of a good idea here. It's kind of like a St. Vincent if
I guess
you really just like the body shape. Yeah.
If I take my glasses off.
If you squint your eyes and ears
and do that, maybe. But dude, it's bad. Colton, this is bad, man. This is not good.
It's so wild to me. It's like, okay, can you guys see my mouse on the screen here?
Yeah.
So like this side where the strap button is on the bass side, I don't mind this. I think this is the start of a good idea. I don't think a Telecaster configuration really suits it, but the treble side, it just goes so far. It's like a little Explorer out here.
There's so many things wrong with this. First of all, the neck and the strings, the whole like guitar is not centered up.
I like this.
Yeah, dude. But look at it. No, zoom out. So it's not centered. It's like shifted to the left. So the bottom, can we call that a horn? I don't know what we can call that sort of shape.
It's kind of got a cutaway.
Yeah.
I both am appalled and I love it at the same time.
You love this?
Just in a weird, okay, I don't like the purple pick guard. And also like, there's so many strange things about this pick guard. Let's talk about this for a second. Look at all these curves, right? Like these curves that's a pretty clean cut right here.
This was a pre-existing pick guard from something.
You can just buy sheets of material, right? Because what telly pick guard would go that far down to the edge of the bridge? Also, my guy, those screws are not straight.
Well, hold on. Do you think that the neck is set properly in this guitar?
Maybe.
What's the over-under on that neck pocket being like done right?
Well, here's the test, right?
I was going to say, look at the strings.
You look at the strings here, and you look at them down here. That low E is
Neck's not straight.
Neck's not straight. That's okay.
Are we
You can fix
surprised?
that.
If we're being honest. Okay.
Is that a German carve? Does that qualify as a German carve?
No, German carve is like dish like that, and then it's flat.
Okay, cool.
That is not a German carve.
Just curious.
But I don't know. It's funny. I think the knobs are rad as hell. I think the knobs look awesome.
I appreciate that you're trying to find any redeeming qualities about this.
You know what? Hey, Colton made this, right? Like he
Yeah.
poured, and that's important. He put himself into this piece, and I
don't
think it's
think
really.
I think he put about 20 minutes into this piece.
Oh, it took longer than that.
I appreciate the parts caster made from lost and found parts. I appreciate the sentimental value. The problem I'm having here is that you took something that was a really sweet and sentimental idea. Like this could have been really, really nice. Like, hey, this is my high school seat that I sat in for pep band and everything. And it's just been ruined. Like no matter how good the story is, it's so ugly that there's just no and the control plate's not even lined up with the bridge. Zoom in on the bridge and the control plate. Like they're not parallel.
Oh no. And then this is like not straight up and down. I think ditch the purple guard and I would make a different pick guard for it. I think a pick guard might help it.
Dude.
But I low key kind of love the homemade quality of it. I can't imagine that it plays all that easily. I would love to see video of you playing this at church. I think that would be awesome. But it is, it's a very unique shape. And it's pretty rough. I'm trying to be nice, but also I do genuinely think it's fun. I don't know why. I don't want it. Don't make me one with seat number 6 and send it to me.
It would have been, honestly, what would have been better, genuinely, is had you just left it as the square seat and done kind of the Bo Diddley thing with it. That would have been cool. Yeah. But you had to take a bandsaw to it and apparently didn't turn the lights on in the shop before you took the bandsaw to it.
Wait, zoom in a little bit on the right on the horn. Did he glue? Are those glued pieces?
This piece?
Yeah. Do you see that? And then look. Oh, totally it is. If you scroll down to the next.
Yeah.
Keep scrolling. Yeah, it is. So maybe
did he do that, or was that maybe done in the?
It could have been the bleachers. It could have been glued piece, because this looks contiguous here.
Oh God.
But that
I think
that looks different grain.
Yeah, you can see it on the left side too.
I'm a little upset for Colton here because again, like there's the sentimental value is there. It's a great story, and it just is not.
I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. I don't know why. Like I said, don't want it. This is like just that sort of like roadside art that you see. Have you ever been to Pigeon Forge? This looks like something that would be on a wall at a restaurant in Pigeon Forge, and I kind of love that about it.
Oh God.
Okay, so I don't think this is fair to rate.
I mean,
so we're going to rate
I think we should do it. We should do 2 ratings here.
Oh, okay.
I think we should do the
that?
rating sans the bleacher seat, and then we should do the full rig.
Okay, so I'm going to post it up here with the full rig.
Let's go sans DIY guitar first.
Okay, we're just focusing on this section.
I like the rig. I think it's great. It's meat and potatoes. It's really, it does what you need it to do. Everything you need, nothing you don't. I'm going to give that I don't really see for what he's doing. I wouldn't change much here. Maybe add a second delay option because the deco is a little limited in the delay department in terms of what all it can do, but that's a minor gripe. I'm going to give that an 8.3 for that rig.
I was thinking a solid 8. That was my suggestion too. I think you need another good delay pedal, and you're kind of set. Something stereo, if you need that for the
Yeah.
worship gig. And then the guitar. Let's do it. Let's do it. Out of 10.
I'm sorry, Colton. I'm really sorry. I absolutely hate it. I just hate it. I just don't. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to hear it. This knocks this rig down considerably for me. I gotta.
Just the guitar.
Oh, just the guitar?
Let's just rate just the guitar.
The guitar's a 0 for me. Absolute 0. This will be the first absolute. Just there's 0 redeeming qualities here. To me, I would pull the pickups and the neck and the hardware off of it and build a parts caster. I can't. I just can't.
I'm there with you. I would pull it apart. I would take it to a really cool luthier and have them sort of tighten it up and maybe plug some holes, fix it up. I want to give it a 3. There are guitars I hate more than this.
Really? What are they? I'd love to see what they are.
I'll have to find some.
I'm trying to think of an uglier guitar that I've seen. I'm sure I've seen one, but I can't remember.
I don't want to say publicly.
Okay,
What they
that's
are.
fair.
But yeah, so 8.3, 8, and then
Man.
forgive us.
All right, there you go.
So
Well, if you want to submit your rig to be dipped or roasted now, I guess.
Oh, man.
You got to be a patron. Sign up for our Patreon. Links down below. We're going to jump over there in just a minute and do our bonus episode for the patrons. But before we do that, we got a shill.
oh yeah,
Did you figure something out?
I did. I don't have all of it in my hand, but I did something. Addison was making fun of my tripod, and
As he's known to do.
yeah,
Definitely.
If you know
I'm a
Addison at all,
bully.
dude, he's going to call you out on your tripod.
So
Every time.
because we're setting up new stuff for video in the shop and stuff, I wanted to have all new Manfrotto tripod stuff. So I got a little one for my desk, but the thing that I got a bunch of these are this really heavy duty, it's like tripod mount, and I got like 5 of these. And so this is just like a silly quality of life thing. Anyone out there that's making videos and stuff, you want to make sure that all these are the same. And now I have them all the same and everything clicks into everything. And I don't have to chase and go, where the hell is that thing for the tripod?
Yep. I'm committed to the Arca Swiss system. So all my tripods have the Arca Swiss plates on top. All my cameras, anything that gets mounted to a tripod has that Arca Swiss. And yeah, you can just like put anything on anything. You don't have to think about it.
It's so nice. All that Manfrotto stuff is just like,
It's expensive, but yeah, it's
I
worth
sent
it.
you guys a message. I was like, is this strong enough to hold my camera? And you were like, yeah. And then it showed up and it's like that big around. Like, I could swing on this.
Yeah, the Manfrotto stuff does not play. I'm using their like articulating arm right now to hold this camera, and it's fully extended, probably about 3.5 feet out, like horizontal, and it's just solid.
Yeah.
Like doesn't budge. It's great.
Awesome. So what do you got?
I'm very excited about this. They've been jonesing for one of these for a while, and on a whim, I jumped on Reverb and bought it. It's the TC Electronics, the 2290 delay in pedal form. So really, really famous, well-known, storied delay unit from 1985 is when the original rack mount version came out. Just look it up. It's been used on a ton of famous stuff. I guess maybe most famously would be like the Edge U2. A lot of his sounds were this. I've been playing it for about a day and a half. I think this might be, in terms of delay pedals that I've owned, this might be the best one that I've owned.
Take the cover off and show
Oh
us.
yeah, ready? So this is just a cover, magnetic cover. Oh, dude, these buttons, these are the most satisfying buttons. Like they fit your finger absolutely just perfectly. And look at the screen. Why is that not fully focused? There we go. Look at the screen. So it works just like the rack unit where you pick a parameter here and then you use this encoder to, dial in your mix. The best stereo chorus I've ever played. The chorus options, the flanging options, like this is this and like a few other units like the CE2 or the tri-stereo chorus, this was like the sound of the late 80s and the 90s. Like it's so good. It's so good.
How much are those?
I paid $350 for it. Bought it from
not
Alto
bad.
Music on Reverb, brand new. Yeah, dude,
It's not bad at all.
now it's not oh God. It's not a like a Strymon Timeline or any of the other like flagship delays where it'll do, tape and analog and stuff. Like, no, this is just a 2290. But man, it's really good. If you're into that like super hi-fi digital delay thing, I think this is the one to have.
Man. I
And just look at it, dude. Put that cover on there and it gets all like, RoboCop looking type, like total 80s heist movie vibe right there.
I'm looking this up right now.
You can buy one from today's sponsor, Sweetwater.com.
Links down below.
$309.
Oh, wait, what? It was,
Hey, bro,
I gotta say $50.
you got to shop at Sweetwater.com.
I probably should have actually.
I'm buying one. I've been putting stuff in the loop of the Mark II C++. I've been
dude.
sending Rhett videos.
Dude.
It's so good and it makes me so happy.
You're gonna love it. It's perfect. It's perfect in the effect. I've been using it in the effects loop of the 2 Rock there. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Cool.
thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, review us, rate us, do all the things. And, we're going to
Sorry, Colton.
our Patreon. And sorry, Colton.
Sorry,
We
Colton.
appreciate you and we appreciate the effort. But,
Appreciate the
even the
effort.
great strikeout.
Yeah. Happens to us all. All right. We're gonna see the patrons in the bonus episode, and we'll see y'all next week.